Welcome back to It Was Never a Face Cards. My name is TJ, and in today's video, we are talking promos. We are seeing new all-time highs. These Scarlet and Violet era promos cannot be stopped. The Pokemon Center stamps are just dominating, and let's just jump straight into it. And obviously, we have to start out with our cute boy, Charmander, with his forehead pressed up against the glass. This card is continuing to go up and up and up. And obviously right here, we're talking about the Pokemon Center stamped version, which is most of what we're going to be talking about in this video. Is a lot of the stamped versions, some non-stamped as well. But like, look at what we're currently seeing, 153% in the past 3 months. This was a sub $100 card 3 months ago, and now we're seeing current market price at $243, with the lowest listed in the 260s. And it's not that many sales until we could potentially see this Charmander hit $300. And if you zoom out right here, the previous high on this card was around 175, and that was back in March a year ago. This was a $56 card. So 56 up to 175, then it fell back down to 92, and now we're seeing 240, possibly 260, up to $300 for the Charmander Obsidian Flames promo. And you know, if we're going to talk about the Charmander, that we have to talk about the Snorlax with the Pidgey on its belly from 151. Another card, these cards are kind of going like neck and neck, with the Charmander leading the way, surprisingly enough, but the Snorlax is kind of starting to push the Charmander a little bit. 49% gains just in the past 1 month on this card, going from just under $150 to $220. However, the most recent sale you can see right here is actually $249.99, so $250, and that's right where the lowest listeds are. Same thing you're going to see right here, $250, $260, and then it goes up to around $300. So let me know in the comments below, which one do you think will be the first to hit 300? Do you think it'll be the Charmander, or do you think it'll be the Snorlax? Let me know. I think the Charmander is going to do it. Before, you know, if you would have asked me that before, like a while ago, I would have maybe guessed the Snorlax, but Charmander just has too much strength right now. And there's just not that many of these cards for sale. 20 copies of the Snorlax currently on TCG Player, and 21 of the Charmander. So that's just the reality. Supply and demand. There's just not enough supply to meet the demand. And the 1 year chart on this one's looking really good. 308% on the year. A year ago, this was a $54 card, ran up to around 200 in March, cooled back down to 130, and now we're seeing obviously new all-time highs on the Snorlax. And then we have everyone's favorite gray felt hat to talk about. Not mine, but not that I don't hate this card by any means, but it's just one that I just still can't believe is at this price. Sales have really slowed down on this card recently as it's gotten more expensive, but also supply has gone down as well. It's continuing to rise though, up 10% in the past month. 418 up to around 460. You can see it's kind of been stagnant around that $460 mark since August, like mid-August. So almost about a month now, but the most recent sale around 490. So we're starting to see it maybe continue to uptick, which would be kind of wild to see. I mean, lowest listed right now are 480 and up, just a few sales, and then we're really solidly in that $500 range. So Pikachu gray felt hat, and that is the listed median price. So it would be, it would make sense for it to continue to rise at this price. A year ago, this was under $100, if you could believe that. It had peaked around 340 back in March. It dipped down just a little, down to 313, and now we're seeing it go on another crazy run. So Pikachu with gray felt hat, $500 card in the very near future, potentially. So that one always is a mind blower for me, but it's a good promo. People like it, so you cannot argue with the people or the market on what they like. And then speaking of Pikachu, this is one obviously that's been taking off. This is the Paldea Evolved promo, obviously Pokemon Center stamped, but you can see like this is really big for just the past month. 55% in the past month is really big, from a $74 card up to around 114. And you can see, look at the supply on this one. There's only 9 copies currently listed on TCG Player, and this is getting ready to take a massive leg up because market's at 114. Look at the lowest listed. We have 200, 200, and then 300. So this potentially is going to shoot up once we see, another sale or two. And you can see the most recent sales, 124 and then 170 are the two most recent sales. So that would be well above current market. And yeah, looks like this may go to 200 unless some people come in and they list some copies below that. But only 9 copies available. So we'll see. And in the past month, they've sold over almost 40 copies. So we'll see. Obviously sales have slowed down as prices increase, but just another one to keep an eye on. You know, crazy all-time highs that we're seeing right here. Previous all-time high on this card was around 116. So we're at 114. So once we get one more sale, if we get to that $200 mark, it's going to absolutely blow past this previous high. So more all-time highs pretty much like across the board on all of these Scarlet and Violet era cards. Then we have Sleepy Eevee that we do need to talk about as well. I know that a lot of these cards we've mentioned pretty recently and pretty regularly, but the reality of it is they're moving fast. So that's kind of why I do like to touch on them, because they're some of the quickest market movers that we're currently seeing right now. And if you want to talk about a good looking chart as well, check this out. The 3-month chart is up like 75%, you know, from a low of around $50 up to over 100. So a really big gain there. And if you zoom out right here, you can see this card was previously as high as $152 after release. This was back in March. Then we got more PC ETBs for Prismatic that actually came later, and we've seen like a few restocks actually on those. But, you know, that's what led those cards to fall off from 150 down to around 50, and now we're seeing it finally get back up over that $100 mark. I think that this is a card that I've said it many times, but when you compare this to the Charmander, the Snorlax, the Pikachu, the current Pokemon Center stamped cards that are leading the way, this one obviously deserves to be up there with those cards, and it will be in just probably a matter of time. But this is one that, you know, maybe around $100 might be a good pickup comparatively. So that's something to keep an eye out. Currently lowest listeds are around 100. There's one around 100, then it goes up to 110 and 120 pretty quickly. So keep an eye on the Eevee number 173. That is a big mover potential. And then Team Rocket's Wobbuffet, another one that's been looking really good on the 3-month chart, 72%. That's absolutely massive. Back here, a $55 card. Now we're seeing it current market at 100, most recent sale at 123, and lowest listeds at 125 and up. So destined rivals to getting a little scarce in general, getting expensive across the board. Whether it's the booster box to the Pokemon Center ETB, we are seeing, you know, these prices increase. So obviously it makes sense that the Wobbuffet promo would be going up as well. If we zoom out right here, this card has pretty much only gone up at release. It was $46, went up to 70, cooled down just a little bit, and now it's, you know, on its big run. Only 5 copies currently listed on TCG Player, so keep that in mind as well. Before we go any further, we need to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Shiny. And if you are like me, you obviously have a big Pokemon collection, or even if your Pokemon collection is a little smaller, with how quickly this market has been moving, like we were just previously talking about, how wild in these big swings that we're getting, you need to be logging your collection in Shiny, because Shiny is the best way to track your collection, your value, so you can see how much it's up. You can scan cards. They have a very accurate, I hear it's over 99% accurate card scanner, so you can add cards to your collection super easy, track everything that you have from sealed to singles. Like, you know, behind me, I have all my collection logged right here, all my PSA 10s, my sealed product, and I can see how much it's worth, how much it's going up every day. They pull all real-time data off of like eBay sales, TCG Player sales, so you know that you're gonna have the most accurate and up-to-date pricing for everything in your collection. And it's not just Pokemon. They do TCG, all like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Lorcana, and more. So make sure you check out Shiny if you want to have a great way, you know, to log your collection. We'll have a link for Shiny in the description and in the pinned comment, so make sure you check that out. And you don't necessarily have to take my word for it. They do have tons of reviews both on the Apple Store and on Google Play, but you can see 4.9 out of 5-star reviews. It's completely free to use. If you want to check out Shiny, check them out. Highly recommend using Shiny to track your collection. Next up, we got to get back to these Pokemon Center promos, because they be a moving. The Mimikyu, it's like a new card, same story. 3 months, up 203% in the past 3 months, from sub 30 up to around $88. Last sold $95. This is one that's been moving absolutely massively. And you zoom out on the 1 year, almost 500% gains. Previously, The low was around $13 was the 1 year low, and it shot up in February to around 58, came back down to around 30-ish, just a little bit under, and now we're seeing almost $100 on the Mimikyu. Lowest listeds right now are around 93 with shipping, so even currently above this still high market price right now. Probably see this one continue to move up, but you probably won't see massive movement on this card until we see the supply dwindle a little bit more. You can see this is one that has more copies available, so 40 copies currently on TCG Player. So keep an eye on the Mimikyu. This could be a big mover, a quick mover. Not that it hasn't been already, but even faster once we see a few more copies sell. And then one of my favorite promos that I love talking about is the Magneton promo. This is obviously the stamped version as well, coming from your Surging Sparks, Pokemon Center ETBs. Those have finally starting to see some movement here recently as well. And so when the boxes move, the promos move, it just makes sense. 123% in the past 3 months. This card's going from around $36 back here up to around $80. Most recent sale, $111. Now you can see the difference between this card and the Mimikyu. There's only 23 copies currently listed on TCG Player. Even though right now the Mimikyu is valued higher at $88 market price, currently you can see the lowest listeds right here for the Magneton are at 90, 93, and then they go up into the $100 range. So it looks like Magneton might be passing Mimikyu right here, so that's another one to keep an eye on. You zoom out right here, the 1 year low was previously what we had said, around 35, and then the previous high in January was around 68, so we've blown way past that previous high. It's nice to see the Magneton Shinji Konda artwork here, proving to be a good card. It's been a good pickup for anybody who's picked it up, even at this previous high. You're doing real good on that card right now. We have from Scarlet and Violet base, the Miraidon and Koraidon stamped promo starting to move as well. 50% just in the past month. So this is one where this looks like, wow, this is a ton of supply currently listed. I don't know. There's 230 copies. I have to check that out. Maybe it's a weird listing. Yeah. We see these weird listings pop up. This is actually low supply. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I guess this seller could have 225 copies, but that would seem abnormally high for this place. So just keep in mind, they're listing at 300. That looks like the only ones that we know for certain are real. It's just a handful of copies at 190 and 200, which would be massive jumps up with the most recent sales in the 1-teens. So keep in mind that we could be seeing this move up pretty big as well. These numbers would be even crazier. Previous highs on this card was around $76, and we dipped back down to 40. Now we're up to 73, and the 1 year low was 25. The Koraidon, you can see 4 copies currently available for the Pokemon Center stamped Koraidon. It's not up as much in the past month, 36%. However, the most recent sale at 120 and current lowest listed 150 and then 225. So expect this card to move up in value as well. Let's see what the 1 year looks like. Previous high on this card was around $81, so 120 blows way past that. It'd be interesting to see what these charts look like. Maybe give it a few more days, a few more sales, and let it update and see what those percentages look like. I'd like to see it eclipse these previous highs right here. That'll be cool to see. These ones, for a long time, these were really undervalued. I mean, look back here a year ago, a $30 promo. So that's nice to see a little bit of love for Miraidon and Koraidon there, for some SV base love, right? I do like SV base. And we're not only talking about the stamped promos. We're mostly talking about stamped promos though. But the regular Charmander, regular version here, the non-stamped, it's up pretty big as well. This one's kind of hitting some interesting numbers, as we've seen these ETBs hit just insane prices. But this guy's up 45% in the past month. Currently, it was around 40, came back down a little bit to around 37, but most recent sale around 45, so it might be coming back up, and all the lowest listeds are kind of right there at 40 with shipping. So this is one that, if you zoom out right here, check this out. The previous high was around $27, the 1 year low was around $7, and now we're seeing like $40 for a regular ETB promo for the Charmander. That is a little crazy to me. I know the ETBs are going up, the regular ETBs as well, but still, something about seeing that a regular ETB promo at this price this quickly, it can be a little shocking. So the Charmander up big right now. A lot of copies available. almost 120 copies currently. So obviously this one's, people are, there's more regular ETBs out there. More people are opening those compared to the Pokemon Center ones. So that makes sense. A few more stamps to talk about though. This is the Thunderous stamp right here, Pokemon Center stamp. And this one's starting to see some big movements. So we're starting to see both Black Bolt and White Flare Pokemon Center ETB promos move up in value 54% in the past month. That's pretty good. Sometimes it can take a while for these to go up, these newer ones, but I think we are seeing probably less and less people open the PC ETBs. They're just so scarce, they're so hard to get, and they go up in value so quickly that I think we're seeing probably more than ever these get opened less and less. So that's starting to make sense. 21 copies currently listed. Let's zoom out a little bit. So the pre-release high was around 34. They came down to a low of 28. Now we're seeing obviously, new all-time highs because it hasn't really been that long since Black Bolt and White Flare have been out. But that's currently what we're seeing with the lowest listed around 48, which would be above the current market price. So another thing to keep an eye on, like it makes a quick jump here, a few sales, and we're in the $70 range. So that could be big for the Thunderous. And then Tornadus right here, similar story. 72% in the past month, going from a $22 card up to around 38. Most recent sale at 44, and lowest listed's 44 and up. And same thing, you zoom out right here, you're going to see the pre-release high, which was around 29, and then the low of 22. So those cards are starting to look good as well. And once again, not just the stamped promos. I know maybe it could be a little like redundant to be like, okay, we're going to talk about the stamped version and then we're going to talk about the regular version. But it's important. We got to talk about the promos. Okay, it's important to mention because they've been moving so quickly. The market has been so fast on these. But Team Rocket's Wobbuffet, the non-stamped, is up really big, 174% in the past 3 months. Back here, this was a $3 card. Now, we saw it shoot up to almost around 10. They have the current market at $8.84, but most recent sale was actually $10.99. And you do have pretty much lowest listeds kind of in that $8 to $9 range with shipping. So we'll see if this one can break out to that past that $10 mark at some point. If you zoom out, previous lows was at 330. So pretty much you're looking at this 3-month chart is pretty much all that's existed for this card, because Destined Rivals hasn't been out that long either. But big jump, from 4 up to 8 to 10 is a pretty significant jump. So we'll see where this one kind of bottoms out and levels off at. Obviously, it's declined a little bit off of that $10 mark. So something to keep an eye on. And then the last promo that we're going to talk about, and then we have 2 non-promos to talk about, is the Charizard EX. This is that Charizard tin promo that's been... It's a pretty decent looking promo. We've definitely had way worse. I think it's fine looking. But we're seeing this one up 62% in the past 3 months, from around $12 up to almost 20. Most recent sale, though, a little bit lower, one at 13. So we'll have to see, keep an eye on this one. It could be coming back down, although the lowest listeds are all in the 20 plus range. So it looks like $20 and up on this one. I don't know how many, let's see how much this card has really been selling. This card's been selling a lot. Okay. 427 copies sold in the past 1 month. And we're at 91 currently listed on TCG Player. So we could see this card continue to rise and really surpass this $20 mark and just keep going. Obviously, sales have slowed down since the card has gone up in value. But and 427 is a lot for 1 month. But something else just to keep a little bit of an eye on. We could see this card start to move up. We are seeing, we still haven't got the Phantasmal Flames Pokemon Center drop. Still hasn't happened. They've really been teasing us with that. It could happen here today even as this video goes live. But, there could be some Charizard hype playing a little bit of a factor here more recently. A year ago, this was a $5 card, and it's actually pretty steadily been climbing, and then more recently taking that significant jump. So it was more of a slow climber before, but up almost 280% on the year. And then the last 2 cards we need to talk about are some of the most stunning cards, I think, of more modern times. We have Team Aqua's Kyogre and Team Magma's Groudon that we're going to talk about. And these cards just continue to go up and up and up. And if you want to, this is one that really kicks me for not picking up a ton of copies of this card, like a year ago. But $140 a year ago, and just one of the most steady vertical climbs we've seen. Current market at $393 for this card. So continuing just to slowly but surely chug up in value. Lowest listeds, though, are definitely all higher than this current market price. We're seeing 428 and up on the Team Aqua's Kyogre, and a very similar situation with Team Magma's Groudon. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys prefer? Like, if you had to pick one, we'll say PSA 10s are insanely expensive. We'll say, for the sake of this video, you could get Team Aqua's Kyogre or a Team Magma's Groudon in a PSA 10. Which would you pick? I gotta go Groudon personally, but I like both of them a lot. But this one obviously continuing to go up as well. 23% in the past 3 months, 223% on the year. It was 113 back here a year ago. Market at 366, lowest listeds all higher than that. This one makes a crazy jump. You have 2 at 375, and then it goes up to lowest listeds at 650. So we'll keep an eye on this, because that would be insane. So just keep an eye that we could be seeing a pretty big jump there, but that's not really what we're seeing on the Kyogre side. So it would take quite a few more sales to get to this $600 range, but there is listings as high as $600. So interesting there. Definitely worth noting as well. And honestly, maybe I should have, thinking back on this, maybe I should have excluded those cards from this list and maybe just thrown them in tomorrow's video or in another video, because it was like so much promo, and then anyways, it's fine. They're in there. They're great cards. Maybe we'll mention them again in the future. Not everyone watches all the way to the end, but if you did watch all the way to the end and you're not already subscribed to the channel, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button with notifications on, because I do post every single day so you guys can stay up to date on the current market. You guys don't have to do any of the research. Just watch or listen to the videos and I'll keep you guys up to date with what's been happening in the Pokemon card market. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. Hopefully, good luck if that Phantasmal Flames happens, man. They've really dragged that out. If that happens today, if it happens tomorrow, if it happens whenever, good luck to you guys. I'm going to be out there in the trenches with you trying to secure those drops. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.